Yeah. Welcome to Put Your Family First podcast. In the building. Today you're going to get your fill of information. After the day, you should be able to sail to a duck with no knees. Yes. In the building with me, Dr. Heather Ruhitt. Are you present?
Yes, indeed.
Good. So, before we get into this, June 21st is going down for the fatherhood brunch, for the awards for dads. This is a tear-jerking event. So make sure you bring your tissue for your issue, because it's going down. Right? So I'd like to give a shout out. This is a moment. We're going to take a moment of silence for me. There's a young man, and before I bring on our guest, Brian McNeill, this week we had the ups and the downs, right? We had the ups. My niece got married to a roundhead African brother. My nephew, Stan and Raven, had a beautiful African ceremony in Chicago, and, you know, she looked like a whole new world, right? You know, she had the whole hookup on. The only thing was missing was the flying carpet. Beautiful, right? And then the very next day, we lost my Uncle Rudy. Now, Rudy, right, just like I tell you how dope my family is, Rudy was the executive music director for My Mom Wanna Sing, played on several of my daddy's albums, family friend, godfather to my brother. Rudy is family. Him and my mom used to share cake and pie recipes. Rudy is the one that, his name was Rudolph V. Hawkins. And you can look him up. He did a lot of significant things. Was recently working on some stuff in Africa around the play. But God came and took Rudy. And I tell you this because Rudy was the one that put me up on my dad. He was the one that informed me how my dad felt about me and how he saw me, right? And so I'm going to be mentioning Rudy over the next couple of weeks quite a bit because Rudy is significant. Rudy was the one that knew that my mother didn't play. He'd tell you, don't play with your mama. You can play with your daddy. Don't play with your mama, right? Anyway, our guest today, before he comes on, his name is Brian K. The K is for Kick It, McNeill. He's the sales skills improvement evangelist. That means he pray you through these sales, right? And he's selling financial services in different areas. The shortcut, ask for money, master sales language, and he goes on and on. Currently, Brian is laser focused on helping entrepreneurs, financial professionals, and sales teams master the confidence and the communication it takes to sell faster, serve better, and earn more without ever sounding salesy. And I know I sound salesy. He leads 2 thriving virtual communities, the Sales Confidence Mastery Group and the Empowering Financial Professionals Group, where members grow their skills and results every month. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up to my friend and brother, Brian K. McNeill.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here, my brother. Good to meet you, Sister Heather.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
And the engineer Chantel, she ain't here to learn something too.
Hello.
Hello, Sister Chantel. How you doing?
Hello, fine, and you?
Good.
Why can't I see you guys now? I can just see me.
Yeah.
Because the camera's focused on you, brother.
Okay, I got it now.
Yes, sir.
I see y'all handsome faces too, man.
Yes, sir. All right, she gonna put it where we can see each other. There you go.
There you go. That's beautiful.
Yes, sir.
It's interesting that you rock applause. My phone ringer is applause.
Oh,
so whenever
wow.
anybody calls me, I hear applause.
I know that's right.
That's good.
I gotta
You
do
know
that.
it's good. You know it's good. So Brian, we want to start before we get into the knee deep of what you really do. Tell us about you, who you are, your family background, because this is put your family first, and we like to get to know the family aspects.
All right. Well, I was born a poor black child. No, I'm joking.
Okay.
Born and raised in the streets of Brooklyn. My name is Brian K. McNeill. I'm a sales skills evangelist. Yes, I do call myself a sales skills evangelist because this is something that I think is very, very important that we must teach. Born and raised in Brooklyn, father, husband, grandfather, believer, first, second, and third. And all my talks, I drop. It's hard to hide the fact that I'm a believer, first, second, and third. But I spend my life teaching and preaching what I consider the essential skill, the ability to sell yourself and what you offer. I think the ability to sell has more to do with your happiness or sadness, success or failure, prosperity or poverty than any other skill. So I'm super excited to be here with you guys today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. All right, so come on with the family. You're a father of 15, 5, 4, down south. Y'all like to have a lot of babies. So.
Actually, I'm from Brooklyn. I live in Charlotte now.
Okay.
I don't know how many kids I got 6 children and 7 grandchildren is what I have. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yep. But I got to correct you on one thing up front, bro.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Because a lot of people consider it a compliment. They'll say, Brian can sell ice to an Eskimo, or Brian can sell anything to anybody, or Brian's the greatest salesman. And I know they're well-intentioned.
Right.
But I cannot sell ice to an Eskimo. I cannot sell water to fish. I can only sell things that will improve a person's life. I can't talk anybody into it. That description, Brian can sell anything to anybody, I know it's well-intentioned, but they're describing a con man, and that's not me. Okay, I am the best salesperson, but I only can sell something that will improve their life.
Okay.
Okay.
That's awesome. I'm looking to improve, brother.
I got you covered.
Yes, sir.
I've got so much I want to share with your amazing audience.
Good. So the second thing before we get there, give us your high school background. What were you like as a young man?
Sure.
What drove you? Yeah, what drove you into sales and?
Interesting. In high school, growing up in Brooklyn, man, this is a great question. I haven't asked this in a long time, but my whole life was basketball. Okay, basketball and girls. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I thought nobody could stop me by yourself. You're gonna need help. Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, because I thought I could score on anyone.
Right.
I played basketball in high school 3 years. I played tennis 3 years as well. I also won the school writing competition in the 9th grade, and I became editor of the school newspaper in the 10th grade.
Let's go.
So I was writing the articles and playing the games and man, that was me in high school. Who asked that question, man?
Well, I did, sir.
It's the origins.
Right.
Because
Man.
Yeah, because
this ain't cotton on my face, man. You had me go back many a year for that, bro.
yeah, well, That's a good thing, because the one thing for sure, we kind of understand where the tenacity comes from sales. As an athlete, I'm a former, we both former athlete built right now. We used to
former
be
athlete built, exactly. I'm former athlete built, exactly. I'm not that athlete anymore. So
Right.
that's a long time ago.
Long time ago, right? And so we like to, this next question, and then we're gonna let you fly.
Okay.
This question remains an important question. What was your why
To go into sales.
to whatever you find in your life, your purpose,
All right.
whatever?
I grew up in Brooklyn, but we did not have money. And there was a season of my life, I was probably 5 years old. I was a church boy too. My Uncle Jerry was the pastor of my church. And I asked my Uncle Jerry, how come no one in my family has any money? None of my aunts and uncles, none of us have money. Why is that, Uncle? And my Uncle Jerry said to me, sometimes people have to suffer before they can achieve. And that answer it stayed with me forever. So as I grew up and at age 17, my mother and I had a different idea about how the household should work. So it was her house though. So I had to leave. I went to the Army, and I was an airborne soldier for 3 years out of Fort Bragg. Excuse me. And then I went and got a job after the military. And my pretty wife came up to work one time, and she never showed up at my job.
Okay.
I was working at the front desk of the hotel, and she said, "Brian, we're pregnant." And I was so excited. But what I realized right after she told me, as a front desk supervisor, I don't make enough money to afford a baby. And I was 23 at the time, and people had been telling me, Brother Calvin, Brian, you'll be good in sales. Brian, you'll be good in sales. And bro, I had no idea what sales was. So I went to a newspaper. That's how long ago this was. And I looked into entry-level sales, train, and I found a job. And it was a straight commission job. And what I learned was, in direct proportion to how well I sell, was how much money I made. So I started to learn. Yes.
And that took you to where you are today.
Well, I was horrible at it at first. For 10 months, I was not good at it at all. The training program consisted of, hang in there, you'll get it. And one day, I ended up in a used bookstore, and as if by providence, I discovered a book on sales called How to Master the Art of Selling. And the author's name was Tom Hopkins. His picture was on the cover. I bought the book, and I started turning those pages and reading that book. And on page 4 of the book, it said, why you cannot fail in sales.
Reading his
And I
life.
needed someone to tell me why I couldn't fail, because all I had up to that point was failure. I needed somebody to say, you can't fail in this. And his premise was, if you'll just do the basics. If you just do the basic stuff you're supposed to do, you can't fail. So as I turned those pages and finished that book, I got a little better. Then I bought another book called Secrets of Closing the Sale by Zig Ziglar. And then I read that book and I got better. And the third book I got was The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. This book was set in biblical times, and it had biblical principles in it. And that little thin book changed my life. It had my mindset. And I just kept going by reading more and more books. And by my count, I've read more than 700 books on sales, sales management, and personal development. And in direct proportion to how I read, I got better and better at it. So a year later, I'm the sales manager. I'm setting sales records, and I'm preaching and teaching on how to sell. And I'm so grateful that I discovered a love of it. And I discovered that I loved helping other people to do it. And then I discovered that I was good at teaching it. And I've been doing it now for about 32, 33 years.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you mentioned that third book because I was going to ask that question. I was wondering if it had fit into your journey somewhere. Yeah.
It definitely did, Sister Heather. And so many people miss out because they can't get past the title. The title of the book is How the Greatest Salesman in the World.
Right.
But it's really not a sales book. It's a book about letting love lead, persisting until you succeed.
Discipline. Absolutely. Discipline.
Yes, those kinds of things. Letting love be your greatest weapon. All those kinds of things. And it's caused me, not only do I continue to read and learn, but in 2016, I published my first book. And a couple of months ago, a month ago, I published my 8th book. Yep.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, man, we got a lot in common, brother.
What's that?
Well, first of all, I'm about to drop my 8th book.
Woo!
I'm a former basketball player.
Uh-huh.
I have 5 kids.
Woo!
And I like to think that, you know, what you're saying is such a need for people. And you really inspired me because you were sitting here talking about a book she ain't even gave me, brother. You know what I mean? I ain't seen that book. So I'm going to get that book, right?
Okay, which one are you talking about? You going to get The Greatest Salesman in the World? Or you want to get one of Brother Brian's books?
No, I'll get your book too, but The Greatest Salesman in the World.
I'm telling you, you'll finish it in a couple hours. It's a little thin book, but in my opinion, it does the best to get your mind prepared to be great.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it does. Because you're giving, you know, you're serving. It's set like in Bethlehem times, and you know, the baby in the manger, with cold, all that stuff. It's an amazing little book. But I want to ask you, Brother Calvin, we do have a lot in common. There's a couple more things about me I want to see if you have in common.
Okay.
I am a cigar enthusiast. How about you?
I mess with cigars. I do.
Okay.
Yes,
That's
sir.
one. And I am a chess enthusiast. How about you?
I mess with chess. I haven't played it in a couple of years because I've been dealing with this life chess out here with these people.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mess with the chess too. Right.
But both of those things are enthusiasms of mine. Huh?
Right. I've been known to lose at chess, and then every now and then win.
Okay.
Right. Because I like to challenge the guys that play it all the time.
Like me.
Right. And then my goal is to see if I can beat you.
I play every day, all day online. Okay. So.
Do you? Yeah. You like it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, and I'll have one cigar a day, every day. So.
Okay. Yeah. My brother. He can do it that way, but my brother is the real cigar enthusiast, right? Where, but I know a few, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And every now and then I'll have one.
All of the coolest people are cigar smokers. The coolest and the smartest and the best looking.
But then I'm in the game. I'm in the game, Brian.
That's right. That's right.
I'm in the game. So you say you've been married a long time, huh?
Well, I've been married. Let's see. 24 years now. Okay. But 3 different women, and my current wife, we've been married 9 years.
Is
Okay.
that
And my
Dr.
current
Lisa?
wife, Dr. Lisa, is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I will never, ever not be married to her. I will never, ever let her not be married to me. I thought I was the man before I met her. I thought I was the man. But everything became better when I met her back in 2015.
More things in common.
More things in common.
What happened now? What was that?
That's when we got together in 2015.
How about that? What kind of party was our parents at, man? met in
That's funny.
2015 too.
Yeah, so we met in 2009.
Oh, okay.
Right, and then in 2015, she stalked me, and I had no choice.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yes. Right.
I like to tell that story too.
Yeah.
I actually met her in person in 2015. I had met her by phone a year before when someone asked me to train her. Oh my gosh! But we met her in 2015 finally, and we married in 2016. Yeah.
And y'all been having fun ever since.
Been a blast. My life is so much more dynamic and prosperous and giving and loving, and it's just much better.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds
Because
familiar.
we both are communicators. That's what it is. So.
Right.
Mhm.
That's good, man. That's good. See, I knew this was gonna be good. I knew this was gonna be good, right? So let's get right to it, right?
Okay.
Let's get into this sales conversation.
Let's do it.
And why? Let's start with where should you start, right? With sales and what it looks like.
Okay. If I have a room full of people and I ask, are there any single women in this room? I'll get a smattering of hands raised up.
No question.
And I say to the room, I said, okay, ladies, y'all in luck. I got this man I want to introduce you to, and he's a salesman type. Now, with just that description, what kind of image you think they'd shout out? What do you know about the guy? How do you feel about him with just that little bit of description? They'll say stuff like, oh, he's going to be a fast talker. He's going to hide your wallet, slick, pushy, all these negative connotations that they have with it. And I hear all that stuff, but I ask them, when was the last time you encountered that kind of salesperson? When was the last time anybody tried to bully you or trick you into buying anything? And hardly any of them can remember a time, or it was a time long ago, because that kind of salesperson doesn't really exist anymore. No one can get away with that. Not since like the mid-90s when we got Google and cell phones, because people could check you out right in your face. They can check your reviews, they can check your testimonials, they can find out what you really, really do and how people really, really feel about it too. So that person doesn't exist anymore. But that negative connotation that people have about selling keeps them from being able to earn money. That's what it does. I believe you both are believers as well. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. I would love to see your face the whole time. Can I?
You sure can.
All right, good. Because I want to ask you guys something. Okay. First off, those kind of people that have a negative connotation about selling, they're not understanding some basic principles. But the Bible is very, very pro-sales and very, very pro-business. The Bible says, Proverbs 11:26, it says, the people curse the ones that withhold the grain. They wish blessings upon the ones that will sell it. And some version says withhold the corn. But your grain or your corn is your intellectual property, is the solutions you have, is the answers you have. And if you have a solution that will help somebody be better and you won't sell it, curse you. Curses on you. That's what the Bible's saying, because you're being selfish. You have answers and solutions and you're keeping it to yourself. You're supposed to sell it in exchange of something of value. In other words, money. The Bible says clearly, if you will sell it, they wish blessings upon you because you have something that will help the people and you're willing to sell it to them. There's a parable called, there's a parable, one of the parables that convict my life every day is the parable of the talents. The same story is told 3 times in the Bible. It's in Matthew, it's in Mark, and it's in Luke, the same parable of the talent. But basically the premise is, when you're giving a talent, giving talent or giving money, if you don't make money with what you've been given, curse you. You're going to be banished into the outer court where there's going to be weeping and gnashing of the teeth because you didn't do anything with the talent that God gave you.
Hey, Proverbs 11, what?
11:26, pull it up.
I most definitely, right?
Yes, sir. I got one more I want to give you. It's the sin of the desert. The sin of the desert. The sin of the desert is when you know where the water is, but you won't tell anyone else.
Ooh.
You know where the answer is, but you're keeping it to yourself. The sin of the desert is the height of selfishness. And if you won't sell something that helps the world, you are committing the sin of the desert.
Wow.
Now,
Perspective.
Sister Heather, I'm just meeting you. I don't even know what your wows mean. Tell me.
It's the perspective. It's a change in perspective, like
Yeah.
not looking at it from that point of view. You think about sales and you think about business and you think about how that relates to your everyday life, but not your spiritual life.
That's right.
And so
Thank you.
it's a powerful connection. It's a powerful awakening. So that's my wow.
I appreciate you for sharing that. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's the most honorable thing you can do. What is the world's oldest profession?
Sex.
Well, you think it is. Some people say prostitution or sex is the world's oldest profession.
Right.
No, but even that is a subsection of
For
sales
sales.
because you're selling sexual favors. The oldest profession is sales. The oldest business. You know, you look at what's the oldest. It could be agriculture, or it could be tailoring. You know, making clothes, making tools, farming. All of those things to make the tools, to make the clothes, so that they can sell it to somebody. To raise the food so they can sell the food. That's what it is.
Wow.
So first of all, powerful, right? Because it kind of taps into the poverty conversation,
Let's go. I'm ready.
right? It kind of taps into the impoverished mind and the impoverished details. When we think we don't have anything, that then equates to the desert.
Yeah.
It's when we're looking for something or someone to process that. So at one point, I was doing insurance, right? Now I did it when I was younger. Then I did it again, but I was already locked in the purpose. And I'm thinking I can go and push this, but I'm locked in the people, the service, my why.
Okay.
And then this year, a brother put me up. And so I made a ton of cold calls for opportunities this year.
Okay.
One just came back this way today. Now, what he told me was, and you possibly can add to this, of course, but what he told me was just keep going, keep calling, keep asking, keep positioning it. You know, you got everything that you need to sell.
All right. Now, how transparent can I be with you?
You can be very transparent. This is our show. We
Okay,
do
good.
what we want to.
All right, my brother. Bad language. You committed some sales crimes. Okay. You don't do insurance. You never say I do insurance. I do real estate.
Right.
I do coaching. When you say I do it or I'm doing it, what you're doing is you're making yourself common like everyone else that's doing it. But there's no one like Dr. Calvin Mann.
Right.
Okay. You don't just do insurance. You help people to ensure their financial future. You help people to be smarter with their money. You help people to actually have some money to leave. You help people to be able to retire with some dignity. You don't do insurance. You help people to do these things.
We help
okay?
people.
You help people too.
Yes.
Through money, okay?
Yes, sir.
And this whole idea of, I decided I'm going to push this. Wrong answer. You know, you're going to help people. You're not going to push this, okay? There used to be a TV show in the 60s in this country called The Millionaire.
Okay.
There used to be a guy named Mr. Tipton. He was a absurdly rich man. He had this thing he liked to do. He used to like to give away checks for $1 million to strangers. And he hired a salesman guy named Michael Anthony. And Michael Anthony's job was to give away a $1 million check to a total stranger. And what Michael Anthony would do was he'd go into neighborhoods, and this is set in the 60s, and he would knock on the houses of doors and say, "Hello, my name is Michael Anthony. I have some time to kill. I want to know if I can chat with you for a little bit, get to know you a little bit." And sometimes they say, "Sure, come on in." They give him coffee cake and coffee, and they tell him about their son and all that kind of stuff. And if he liked the story, he would just go in his jacket pocket and give him a check for $1 million.
Right.
And everybody was great. Sometimes he knocked on the door and they'd be very rude. "Get away from me. I don't know who you are, blah, blah, blah." And when they slammed the door at him or was rude with him, he would walk down the driveway and go to the next house happy because he knew if they had just been nice to him, if they had just listened to the story, he had something that they would have really, really wanted. So he did his job with the $1 million attitude. He knew if they heard what he had, they'd be so much better off. So it didn't throw him when they rejected him. It was, and then they accepted him. His thought was, lucky them. You know, that's how I look at my work. If someone hires me to give a workshop or to do a keynote on sales or to train their sales force, they're going to pay me some money, okay? And I'm going to take that money and I'm going to use it for something. Okay, I'm going to pay bills with it, do something with it. But what do they get? They get what I taught them, and they're going to use what I taught them today. They're going to use what I taught them next week, next month. For the rest of their careers, they're going to be better off because Brother Brian came this way. Now, who gains more, me or them? You know? It's always them, and it's always fit before feast. So the way I look at it is, lucky them if they get to work with me. Not lucky me if I get a sale. Lucky them if they get to work. Because I'm not going to half-step it. I'm going to give good value. And they're going to be grateful that they got it.
Yes.
That's awesome. Hold that thought. We'll go to this commercial. Yes.
Are you an indie podcast or content creator looking to reach a wider audience? Look no further. Introducing Podcastic, the ultimate podcast network designed exclusively for indie creators like you. At Podcastic, we believe in the power of unique voices and fresh perspectives. We're here to amplify your passion and creativity, connecting you with a growing community of engaged listeners who crave original content. Podcastic is more than just a platform. It's a support system built for indie podcasters, offering a range of resources to help you succeed. From tailored promotional campaigns to professional production assistance, we're here to help you shine. Our intuitive platform makes it easy for you to be seen and heard. We do all the heavy lifting for you. You just show up and create. Plus, with our advanced analytics, you'll gain valuable insights into your audience's preferences, allowing you to refine your content and grow your fan base. Ignite your passion, expand your reach, and thrive with podcasting. Visit our website at www.podcasticlife.com to get started. Podcastic, the home for indie podcast and content creators.
Yes, sir.
Turned out over here.
Yeah, you got an uncle in the furniture business.
So you got us turned out over here about that Proverbs.
Yeah, that Proverbs you pulled that one. That's a heavy one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a heavy one. It really changes how we. So we're doing a campaign right now called Reading is Life. We're trying to raise $300,000, right? And because we got 100 boys on the waiting list, black boys in the nation, 17%, right? Not good. First thing you said was you done read over 700 books. You lived the first 3 you put out. In the background, I said reading is life. We need to understand that reading can take you places.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, absolutely.
So when you get this Proverbs 11:26 to someone who hoards scripture, right?
Uh-huh.
and uses it in context. This is very heavy because it says people curse the one who hoards grain, but blessing is on the head of the one who sells it.
Yeah.
What do we do in the community but hoard information and gatekeep? What do we do? We try to sell poor information, and we miss out on our purpose. And then when we're charging and yelling and screaming about our purpose and what the people won't purchase, they don't understand this is what we've created. So when you see this scripture, right, that's heavy.
I'm glad
me.
you're getting that.
Yeah, that's heavy for me.
No, that scripture doesn't say give.
Yeah,
It says
I know.
sell it.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
No,
You rob them of something that they gain if they pay for it.
Exactly. So then, look at the. Oh man, this is deep, bro. We can go here, right?
Yeah, we go.
This go to we created, they sell it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you don't want to go there with me right now because I have been doing a lot of study over the past month about the trauma that we still carry coming from slavery, the hangovers from slavery, the 336 years of slavery, the 100 years of Jim Crow that we've never had counsel for, we've never had treatment for. Psychological disrepair has gone on, and we've never resolved these things. So I've done a lot of study on this. And even that, spending money for black people is still relatively a new thing. Because in our lifetime, there were still times when we didn't have freedom of purchase power. It's still new.
Right. Yeah, but I'd like to throw in this perspective to go along with you.
Okay.
Right. I often talk about how important it is for the child to have the father.
Yeah.
And the further I searched and looked, it adds to what you were saying about what was in the past, because the seed carrier, which is yourself, was traumatized to the point of distinction. They wanted to, right? So you so traumatized, but then that change occurred where we were married, right? 80% of the culture was married. We begin to produce. See, the attack is the male, because he carries the seed of life. So I'm gonna go to this cryo and put my seed in this thing for somebody to come get it. And when God is trying to bless you, that seed is in somebody else's womb. So you didn't value self in the process, and then when we did it, we begin to speak what you just corrected me on about what I do.
Yeah.
That piece about you don't do, right? You are. No. I'm making people happy. I'm encouraging people. I'm uplifting people. I'm saying how important the family is. I'm talking about fathers. This is what I do.
Man, I grew up in East New York section of Brooklyn, and on my block there were about 300 families. Only 2 of the households had a dad in the house. Mine and a kid across the street. The kid across the street grew up to be a New York City bus driver, drove for the city, which is a very lucrative job in New York.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I grew up to be a speaker and an author and a sales coach. We're the only 2 that had dads. Okay. And we both ended up all right.
Yes, sir. So when you had a brother like me, this scripture, right?
I'm happy that this has changed the arc.
Well, I'm always looking for a way to, some people say trying to find my way back, but I'm always looking for a way to create a masculine synergy that is important for other young males to see.
Yeah.
It's not the masculinity of pimping, playing, and procrastinating, because those three pieces create damage. Right? It's this process where we're sharing information and learning from one another to share your story in this process. So I'm gonna get off that because you got me fired up.
You don't have to get off of it yet.
Yeah. See, you got me fired up, brother.
This masculine energy,
Yes,
look
sir.
at Psalms 1. Okay? Blessed is he who does not sit in the seat of the scornful or seek the counsel of the ungodly. Don't take advice from somebody that's not doing better than you. It'll change these young people's lives.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it'll change their lives. Not taking counsel with someone that's doing just like you.
Yeah.
Seek someone like Dr. Calvin.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Be on the lookout. You know what I mean? Head on the swivel, as they would say.
Find that good.
Find
that good soil.
Yeah. Yes. Oh man, why you go there?
You tapping all kinds of triggers.
Hey,
I'm saying,
Hey, brother
I've been on here
Brian.
with you guys for 4 years.
Hey man, come on, brother.
I can hang out with you, man.
Yes, sir. Especially,
All
I can hang
kinds
out
of
with you.
triggers.
man,
All kinds
on that
of
good
triggers.
soil.
Yeah.
You say you in North Carolina?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got right. So we got to come down there anyway, because my brother Kelly Little is down there.
No,
And a few-
Kelly Little
Yeah, that's my man.
in Charlotte.
Yes, sir.
Me and Kelly Little are good friends.
Yes, sir.
My wife has published all 3 of Kelly's books.
Wow.
And-
My
Including
wife
the
has
children's
published all 3 of
book?
his books. All 3 of his books, my wife published them.
The children's book too.
Yes.
Wow.
My wife published all of his books. I have a men's group that meets twice a month.
That's right.
Kelly's a regular. He's a regular in my men's group.
Yeah. Great dude.
Yes.
Great dude, yes.
Yeah, great dude.
He was on the show a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I had Kales. Me and Kales, we rock. I'll be in. We'll be in
well,
DC.
man.
Yeah, we'll be in DC, and you might want to come out. We'll be in DC, June 1st through the 3rd.
What's going on there?
We're doing the family father practitioners conference. I'll send you the flyer. I'll send you the
Please
flyer.
do. It depends, especially depending on what part of DC. I go up to DC like at least once a year and speak in the DMV area.
Okay. Okay.
And I bring it too, bruh.
I know you do. I've been watching it.
Brian, I have a couple of questions.
Yes, ma'am.
If you can offer some insight in this space, one of the challenges, of course, that we're facing is our young people in education.
Okay.
And how do you see being able to use this skill and this tool to help encourage them to pursue education with a new perspective?
All right, now, I'm equipped for this question. When you say young people, what age range are you thinking of specifically?
I'm thinking between when they start to shift, so between 8 and 16.
Perfect. All right. I got my books laid out here. I want to lift up one of my books that I think
Okay.
addresses, okay?
Okay.
It's this book here called 932. 932. My character, Mr. Randall the Rhino here, he's talking to his daughter, and he wants her to be happy and successful. I wrote this book for the age range of like 8 to preteen, okay? But
Okay.
in this book, it has the 9 most important words, the 3 most important skills, and the 2 most important questions. And he's talking to his daughter about the words like courage, one of the most important words in life, love, the power of the word no, faith, those kinds of words, the 3 most important skills of life, the ability to communicate, the ability to lead, and the ability to sell, and the 2 most important questions of life, is who are you here to serve and what are you here to do? And I think this book goes a long way as to helping young people start formulating a purpose with their life. I'm personally grateful I don't have any school-age children anymore because it's tough right now. I'm not happy with a lot of the school system. I'm not happy with the way they still do it, based upon a Greek model over 100 years ago, designed to fail 70% of them. Okay? So I don't like it, a lot of it. So our job as parents is to continue to teach. But we have to find something that they want to learn.
Yes. Yes.
And they need to be encouraged.
Yes.
That's our word.
You know, we have a methodology called the Emmy Way, and you have pretty much captured all of that in just your advice. Yes. And so I thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that perspective. So
and
now,
you know, these young people, they forget how awesome they are, just like adults. We forget how amazing we are, how wonderfully we are made, and we need reminders. So your Emmy Way needs to be trumpeted because they can forget how awesome they are. Please go ahead with your next one. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Now I was going to ask you to flip that to the parent. And because as a parent talking to his child, can you flip that and help us understand as parents, how do we use that methodology too? From your book.
Well, parents, just like the child, they need encouragement too, and they need reminders of how awesome they are. Because grown people, more so than children, my wife's a coach too, we both can tell you, we forget how awesome we are. We forget how good we are. We forget how helpful we are. We forget how loving we are until someone reminds us. Remember that time you helped me through that snowstorm. You helped me through that storm in my life. Oh, yeah. You know how good you are at this? Man, one of the greatest singers I ever heard in my life is my ex-wife. Okay, she's real good friends with my wife now. They're real good friends. But brother and sister, I was married to her for 4 years before I ever heard her sing. I didn't even know she could sing.
Wow.
Until one Sunday I'm holding the baby and she said she had to go do some stuff in church. We was going to church all the time. And she comes out with the choir and she leads a song and my jaw hit the ground. She had stopped sharing her gift. She had been keeping it to herself. I didn't even know. But once I found out, oh Lord, I was encouraging. We was doing that more.
I know that's right.
She started getting into city plays and weddings, all of that.
Good. Blessings. Blessings.
So, encouragement.
Yes. Adding courage.
Right?
Yes.
That's awesome.
And you don't know the story.
Oh, okay. It's going to be good, but go ahead.
Right. And tell the wife we said hello if she's in the vicinity. Right?
She's not, but she wanted to. Anyway, I'll get to that. Go ahead.
Yep.
Yeah. Because you could have easily pulled her on, right? At this point, it's family, right?
I would love to bring her in here. She's awesome.
Yeah, bring her in, right? But
Okay,
before, right? But what's hilarious, right, is that's all my success is the word encouragement. That's 40 years of male and youth and family success is encouragement. Now, I didn't get there, right, like the whole process until we really sat down and really went through the stories and the storms and the lessons and the blessings and brought that process through as to who you really were. So encouragement is like the shirt I have on, like the commercial you just saw, Emmy Apparel,
Yeah. Yes.
right? Stands for Encourage Me, I'm Young.
Young, yes. I love it.
Right? And so the stories when you throw up and dude, we in here vibing. Yeah, tell the wife come on in. We're gonna add her face to the screen. Yeah.
I'm gonna mute myself for 1 second so I can yell. Okay.
Okay.
And just know too that we do have a link, so you'll be able to use this video for you, for your speaking engagements, for sharing. We want you to make sure that you use it as a tool as well.
Yeah, he can get it right at youtube.com.
You just pick it up on our website. On our YouTube channel, on METV. Yeah.
Right. Right. So right, you can see.
I don't know what she could be in the garage. She could be out back. I don't know.
So after we understand it's about encouragement, you got it. Which you beautifully just said, adding courage.
Yeah. Everywhere. That's what you do.
Everywhere.
You add courage, and you'd be surprised how many people are getting that just by watching your walk. Just watching what you do. Watching that you do this. That you're married to her. That you have outstanding guests on. People are watching you, man. That matters.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not what you do, it's what you are.
It's what I am. My uncle just... Woo! Family.
Keep dropping them. Hey,
look. Hey, you dropping them, B. Listen. We had a family reunion meeting, and my uncle, who I'm giving this fatherhood award to, the family reunion meeting ends, and he says to me, he says, Bubs, that's my nickname, right? One of my nicknames with the family is Bubs.
Okay.
And he said, Bubs, you are encouraging me. I'm young. Now go and take this thing across the world.
Yeah. Yeah. He's right. He's absolutely right.
Bro, that hit me, and then you didn't hit it again?
Let me say this. Me and your uncle, we might be smart men, but we ain't that smart. That's God's message coming through.
And your McNeil's.
And your McNeil's.
He's a McNeill too.
He's a McNeill.
You gotta be kidding me.
Neal. Don.
Well, I spell it different.
Right.
You spell it different, but he's a McNeill.
Yeah, the wisdom still following the name apparently. That's right. Right.
So this is
kinfolk somewhere.
Yeah, this is good, right? And so one thing I want you to do is, before you exit, real quick, say your name and then say, encourage me, I'm young.
Sure. Brian K. McNeill. Encourage me. I'm young.
Thank you. So I need you to give the best advice you can give the people and everybody that's watching, or whoever will see this. Give the people the best advice you can now.
The best advice I could give you. If you want your life to be more successful than it's been up until this point to the rest of your life, 2 points. Number one, be willing to ask for more help. Number one, be willing to ask for more help. And number two is be willing to accept more help. None of us have lived long enough to have all the answers. None of us. And we all need help. If you're trying to do life in your own strength, you're doing it wrong. Be willing to ask for more help and be willing to accept more help. That's what I got for you.
Blessings.
Okay, Brother Brian, we will be talking, brother. I truly appreciate you for coming on, telling the wife we will be in touch. You already got my number.
I wish I could find her. I will tell her. She'll be an outstanding guest for you too. She will be an outstanding guest.
We're looking forward to that.
Yes, we'll work that out. I appreciate you, man, for all the nuggets.
You guys think y'all like me right now? once you meet my wife, you like her more. Everybody.
We'll just look at it as the balance of the masculine and the feminine. How about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
We're going to get together off here on a Zoom. Me, you, and the wives, right? We're going to take care of that.
Yes. Oh, that'd be blast. That'd be a blast.
Yes. And so I truly appreciate your time,
We
man.
need to know how to reach him.
I got everything. I know everything besides the birth certificate. Right? Right. We in touch, right? And I appreciate you, man. Have a blessed day. We're going to close this thing out and thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. So, Dr. Heather, tell the people, talk to them, whether you can be reached at.
You can reach me at You're Inspired with a D, yourinspiredjourney.com. And you can reach me by phone at 313-759-7855.
Woo! How about that? Right? That's a song. How about that? How about that? So it's interesting that I decided that for me, getting to know the people that I know was important. And, you know, this is just another one of those areas of work where we continuously find that the world is small for good people. And we need to expand that. We need to make this world very good for good people, because more can be accomplished. If evil prevails, that means we got to start over again and again and again, and we cause damage to the lives and legacies. This conversation today enlightened us on all things sell, but it was short of nothing because of the lessons. I'm going to rewind and watch this again because I think it's important for us to understand how God gives gifts to people to share their gifts. And we learned even more so today. Proverbs 11:26. I am going to take that verse and I'm going to make it dance, right? I'm going to apply it, and it's a really good thing to know, right? Because sometimes we will feel bad. Sometimes we will hurt. Sometimes we these things do get in the way. Sometimes a historical thing happens, but I recognize that sometimes people just go and be great, and they have answers that you didn't have, and God puts them in your path for you to hear. Now let's listen and learn, right? With that being said, we tune in next Monday. We got the queen, the queen, Crystal Gunn to be in the building. She's coming to snitch, tell everything about money that she know. And it's going to be a nice show next Monday at 4 p.m. right here on Put Your Family First podcast. My name is Dr. Calvin T. Mann. God bless you and encourage me. I'm young. Peace.